Let's get started. Welcome, everyone, to episode 95 of the Party Invite Show. Whee! My name is Tegan. I am joined by the whole cast and crew today. How exciting. Over here, we've got Chris Mowry.
Yo!
Over here, we've got Vilos. Carlos
That's
Vilos
me.
is his full name.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, sure.
And
Of the mead.
over here, of the mead, never forget the family line. And down here, we have Sovereign Sid.
That's me.
And the four of us are
That's my government name, I swear.
That's right. The four of us are your party leaders today. It really is nice to have everybody here in the room today. Chris, we miss you. I miss you.
Yo!
So
Been so busy and holidays.
it's just
What a sham.
it's a lot. It's a lot. So good to have you back. This week we've got a good show lined up for you. So every week, if you're new, if you've never been here before, the show consists of two parts every week. We're here on Thursday nights, here on Twitch. But our show is is part podcast and then part game stream. So in every single podcast, we cover what we've been playing, preceded by Blissin' Up, which is an opportunity for us to tell each other about things that have made us smile in the gaming and non-gaming world over the past week. If you'd like to tell us what has made you smile this week, let us know in Twitch chat, on Twitter, in Discord, any of our socials. We'd love to hear them. But in addition to those things, this week we are taking a look ahead to the 2023 releases that we're most excited for. So we each have 2 or 3 things on our list that we'll talk about a little bit. Excited about that. Then the second half of our show, or certainly the second portion of our show, is a game stream. This week it'll be Pentiment Session 3. We've got some wonderful community voices joining us tonight. I'm not sure exactly who they're going to be yet until we are closer to start time. But Pentiment is a wonderful, not quite visual novel game, but it's in the same family. But there are no voices, so the community is the voice today. The 4 of us plus anyone who's going to join us afterwards. So this will be session 3. If you want to find the other 2, I believe they're still available on our Twitch. They'll soon be available on our YouTube. But Pentiment is a lot of fun so far. We're having a blast voicing all of these characters. I think Shanny Pack should have gotten an award last week for some of the voice work he did. But that's later. Now is the podcast. So let's start off strong with Blissin' Up. Vilos, do you want to go first? Something that made you smile this week?
Yeah, my big one was reliving stuff that happened in 2022 through Demo Duo's Demi Awards. That was on Tuesday. That was super fun. They played a stupid amount of games across 2022 and decided to bring their community together in order to celebrate a lot of things. Anything from worst game, which spoiler is very obviously Babylon's Fall,
Right.
to like the dirtiest chat, which the veritable Cram edited a really hilarious section of stuff together. That was
good.
The fantastic chat. We always have a great time in that chat.
Yeah.
But he did that. What's it called? The automated voice thing.
Text to voice
chat.
Yeah.
Something like that.
It's real good.
And it just makes all of our lines so much better when read like that. It was just a good time, and we definitely have on the rest of this Blissin' Up. It looks like we got a lot of streams this week that everybody had fun with, but definitely if you haven't checked it out, go by Demo Duo's their stream, and their Demi's award show was phenomenal.
Real nice.
A lot of work, a lot of love and passion in there, and it was super fun to witness.
Yeah, they're my favorite channel to watch, regardless of what is being played. Some channels you tune in for the people, sometimes you tune in for the specific game or style, or maybe they're funny. Demo Duo, it doesn't matter how bad the game might be sometimes, like Babylon's Fall, or a good handful of others. I watched those guys play Beautiful Boyfriend. Is that the pigeon one? Am I saying that right?
Hateful Boyfriend.
Hateful Boyfriend. Boy, that's a game I would never, ever touch, but made for a very funny stream. Yeah, twitch.tv/demoduo. Go follow them. We love those guys. It's always fun to be in chat on Tuesday nights with them. I would follow that up. So our friend Ecto5, that's Ecto_5, I believe, and I'll double check that. He had his biggest stream ever the other day, watching a series of really remarkable movies. I kind of had trouble watching them and understanding if they were supposed to be bad to be funny.
Particularly the Deandra Brown, her films in particular. So anybody that knows of that name will immediately know what you're talking about.
It will
Oh, okay.
sure.
I was wondering if like The Room was one of the movies.
No,
That's definitely one of those movies.
it's definitely one of those movies. It was unlike any series of movies I've ever seen. I really only watched the third one, but they were all from the same creator. But that was his biggest stream yet, and it was really fun to be in there. No matter how tragic the film itself may have been. Really had a good time in there, so I wanted to shout him out. Ecto's a great member of our community, and just a pleasure to watch. So if you like movies, that is straight up a movie channel. I've maybe seen Ecto stream like Riff Tracks or Jackbox, maybe.
They do have to particularly be bad movies.
Yes, that's true. That's true. But always entertaining. So was really happy for that, and a milestone like that is really exciting. Of all the streams to have, well, because the one before that I think had been his biggest stream a week prior. So it's always great to see that. It feels good to see your friends succeed. So shout out to Ecto5. Something that has nothing to do with streaming, real quick, I'll just knock these out, is I'm not going to talk much about them, but both Sony and Xbox, really Asus, released new controllers for the Xbox and PlayStation systems. Did I say that right? And they look pretty good. So the Sony one is an accessibility controller like we've never seen from Sony before. It basically looks like two discs, or like the things you'd hold, they hold in Tron, with a bunch of buttons on it. You can get more good information, unlike what I just told you, you just Google it. It's called Project Leonardo. It's for the PS5. It's a whole controller kit, so it's got all the things you would expect from a modern accessibility kit. Seems really cool. Seems like a great win for accessibility. The other one is Asus's. There's a word for you. Their third-party controller, but it's licensed with Xbox. That has a little screen on it that has its own certain functionality, but it also has, and Vilos, thank you for correcting me. I had just misread the article. It has something connectivity, whatever. It connects through a USB-C, or Bluetooth, which is the most exciting part for me, or a radio frequency. I don't know how that works, but it does, I guess. I don't know anything about it. So you should go look up real information, again, online for that. That's Asus's new Xbox One controller. Xbox One Series S, or whatever. No, I think that's not even right. Well, whatever. You guys know what I'm trying to say. Naming conventions are stupid.
And it was a Republic of Gamers specific controller that can be played across basically anything now. So.
Oh, really? I thought it was specifically for Xbox.
No, the whole purpose of it being tri-mode connectivity was that you can use it just like you can with a high-end mouse.
Okay, that is super dope.
Yeah.
That's even cooler than I thought it was, and it was already pretty cool. So go look those up. Those seem really great. And I'm sure, it doesn't seem like a coincidence that one dropped immediately after the other, They're like, quick, we gotta get people hyped about our product. So anyway, I've got more stuff, but I will mention that later. It's something about Shanny Pack, but hopefully he'll join us here on the stream later. So I'll tell him, I'll reiterate it then. But Sav, let's bounce over to you, because there's a transition for you.
Yay! So, speaking of people of our community that we love and adore, I actually went out to see Shanny at one of his trivia nights that he has been hosting. He does trivia nights every week, at various locations around the metro area. And he had actually posted about one on Facebook. So I was like, I was about to go out anyway because I wanted to find somewhere to sing for karaoke because I go like every week all the time.
Mm.
And the place that I was going to go to has closed. So I was just like, oh no, what do I do now? And then I just happened to see Shani's post and I was like, oh, that sounds like fun. So I went out there and I was late because of course I was because I run on sovereign time. And I was able to catch the tail end of it. And it was like a really sweet setup. And it takes place in like this it's like a performance arts kind of place. And so they had just done a play, like a production recently. And so there was still like a full on immersive, like 3D wooden forest, like that the audience had chairs and stuff they were sitting in. There was like this big gazebo that had like velvet windows and a door and stuff. It was like really, really nice. And yeah, afterwards, there was karaoke. So I watched the end of the trivia, to which I didn't know any of the questions after Shani we talked after his show, and he ran by some of the questions that were on there, and I didn't know any of them. It was about a year in review in 2022, and apparently I didn't pay attention to anything but video games that year because I knew none of the answers. Like none of them. So that was fun. And yeah, he sang a song. He sang, what did he sing? 1,000 Miles by Vanessa Carlton.
Nice. We
And
sure do quote that song a lot in Discord.
It's a lot. Like his performance was really fun. I enjoyed it, and I was in the audience doing like the white chick's head shake, the do 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 do,
Oh,
like,
right.
And yeah, it was good. It was a good time. Finally meeting Shani in person.
That's awesome. I have not met Shani in person since we became actual friends online. We met in person through an event I had run, but I didn't know who he was back then. I mean, neither of us knew who each other was. So it's funny, like, spending so much time with somebody online, but never really having a physical relationship with them. Phrasing. But yeah, Shani's a good guy. That's real exciting, and valued member of our community. He loves doing that stuff. He actually just introduced me to this board games website. It's not like boardgames.com, but it's something really close to it. He's been talking about it for a long time and introduced me to it yesterday. So hopefully we'll see more of that in the future, because sometimes, you just need a tabletop game, even if you're playing online. But yeah, he's always got something up his sleeve, it feels like. So, Shanny, if you can hear my voice, we love you. Thanks for being here.
Yay!
And yeah, so that's a whole lot of stuff. But it's been a good week. We're going into the new year on a really good note. I'm really excited for this year. Just lots of good people, lots of good games. We've got a bunch of stuff in store for everybody coming up. We've got, you'll see a lot more of me. Well, you already see a bunch of me already here and then on our Wednesday streams. But new year, new stream day. Chris and I will soon be running stuff on Mondays and Tuesdays here on the channel. Not sure when that'll start yet. We still gotta, put the finishing touches on some stuff, get some deets. But yeah, you'll see some more of us. Chris, I'm excited to see more of you on here. Always you and I go way back talking about video games. So I'm excited to see your smiling face chat about that stuff more often. Really, really looking forward to that.
Me too.
So, let's go to our bread and butter. Let's talk about what we've been playing. So for here,
hold on a second,
Chris. There's nothing in the doc. Where?
Yes,
Are you about to tell me that something good happened to you this past week?
Oh, there is nothing in the doc. Weird. I don't know why that's not there. Maybe I put it in on my phone and it didn't save in the doc. That's weird.
Well,
sorry, my bad. But I got something for you.
All right.
It should have been in there.
I'll allow it.
So Devin and I were looking for a new show to watch, and we started watching 1899 on Netflix, and that show rules.
I see now. You had mentioned that in a group chat. You said 1899 after I had mentioned Pentiment, and I thought you were making a joke about Pentiment taking place around 1900.
No.
It's all coming together.
It's all coming together now. But yeah, 1899, super fantastic show made by the people who made Dark, which I haven't seen but have heard great things. So I'm gonna start that up soon. I'm thinking. But 1899 is really good. Of course, Netflix canceled it.
Right.
So I mean, it just came out, but let's go ahead and cancel it. Not give it any time to get through the holidays and it's already canceled. It's like, what are you doing?
Man,
This is like the time when people are catching up on things that they missed from the year.
right.
So literally, like the day we had plowed halfway through the show. It's only 8 episodes. Um, it was like, oh, yep, Netflix cancels it. No season 2 or 3 like they had planned. It's like, oh, okay. So basically, this show, which has an incredible ending, that leaves you with a few more questions than you had at the that you've been having the whole show. You'll just never have those answered. So,
That was me
but it's
with
really, really good.
Archive 81.
Yeah,
Archive,
it's
something like that. Like the
Yeah.
show, got canceled. Sucks.
yes.
Looking forward to it.
It also had like incredible funding. It got like a huge grant from like the German government in order to make the show and all these things. It's an odd choice to be like, oh yeah, we're just gonna cancel this, especially because Dark did so well for them. I'm surprised that they canceled it, but it's very good, very mind bendy. A lot of black upside down triangles and pyramids and stuff, which kind of led me to play a game I went back to that I'll talk about a little later. But yeah, super cool and mind bendy. I needed something challenging, when you're like, I've been watching everything that's like, oh, this is easy to watch. I don't want to have to think about anything right now.
Mhm.
I was like, no, whatever we're
That was,
watching, it's got to mess with my brain in some way.
At your suggestion, like yours was the most important, though not the only one. I did start watching The Bear on Hulu.
Oh,
I like it, and when Lizzie told me that she was pretty sure she wasn't gonna like it, boy, she hit the nail on the head there. As I was watching, I was like, because I watched it while Lizzie was out of the house, I was like, if she was here right now, she'd be so stressed out because of
so
like
good.
the breakneck pace of the entire show being, like kitchen life, restaurant life.
Yes.
But we can talk about that later. We could even talk about that during Pentiment if we wanted to. But let's move on to the bread and butter. There's a restaurant, the PB&J of the podcast here. We're going to talk about
Food.
what each of us has been playing, as well as what we're looking forward to in 2023. So we'll go one by one, and we'll essentially knock all of them out one by one. So who would like to go first here? Actually, I tell you what. Anybody but Sav, because we're gonna go heavy on the 2023. What if Vilos? What if we started with you with High on Life?
Yeah, I just started playing it last night. I meant to play it like when it released, but things happen and no.
Mhm.
But I decided to play it actually on the PowerA. What is it? The Moga? Yeah, the Moga grippy thingy. Straight on my
TM.
controller. I will say that is a little tougher to do than the Razer Kishi was, but playing it through the Game Pass Cloud was awesome. It ran extremely smooth. That game is stupid pretty. Like, it's very surprising how pretty of a game it is. Like, you would not expect it. Like, just seeing the trailer and stuff like that, you're like, okay, whatever. It's funny looking, right? But it's actually really sharp. Of course, High on Life, we all knew that going into that it was the Squanch Games thing and the Rick and Morty, Justin Roiland stuff. But it is exactly as funny as you would expect it to be. Just like Trover Saves the Universe, a few months back when I talked about it. It's just fun to have one of those games that's fourth wall breaking pretty constantly, and there's little things that you'll find throughout. Like you can attempt to shoot every character as you're going through, and the gun will start berating you down the line, just being like, "What the hell, dude? Like, we're not shooting everyone. We're not gonna do that." And there's certain points and stuff where that kind of stuff comes to a head, and it just gets really funny and really stupid.
I saw this video today of it knows when you're trying to speed run the level.
Yeah,
The game like starts
has so many
talking to
triggers for
you.
that.
Yeah, your guns or the characters in the game are talking at you about it, being like, "Hey, you're not going to kill us. You're just going to run past us. What the fuck?"
Yeah. The very infamous one. I passed like I think it was only like 20 minutes into the game. where the kid's just like being a jackass, and he's yelling at you to shoot him, and he just is clowning you, right?
Mm.
And I don't know what happens if you don't. But if you do shoot him straight in the face and he dies, you meet his mother like 100 feet down the way, and she's like, yeah, like I get it. Like the way she goes through it is so funny. Like she almost goes through a couple different stages of grief because she's like, yeah, I understand why you did it. He does this shit all the time. I'm so sorry. And then like when you're not like in active conversation, she starts crying, and then she starts saying stuff. And she's just like, why do you have to be such an idiot? Like just calling this dude out after he died. But it's just super funny, super stupid. It's totally enjoyable. It's definitely not for the squeamish, just like any other Rick and Morty property thing.
Yeah, not for the squeamish, more for the squanchish.
Yeah.
Or the squanchy. The squanchies.
Nailed it.
And I mean, it sets the tone immediately. I think it's so it starts the game off in a retro shooter. You're actually playing a spacey Doom clone,
Oh, no kidding.
and you're very obviously a human being, but you're just the audio that you're hearing. You're playing the game, and of course, another voice comes in. It's your sister, and she gets you off of the game so you can get some shit done because your parents just left the house or whatever. And like it's like depending on how fast you go through the shooter section, it's like a minute into the game, and she's offering you crack.
Lol.
Off of like she opens up her mirror and she's like, yeah, and she does it. Like you're just sitting there witnessing all this, and you're just like, this is where we're at.
Oh
Okay.
no. Well, it wouldn't be Justin Roiland and crew if it wasn't constantly making you just go, "Oh my god, this is happening."
Like it's like, oh, did I think that cocaine was going to be an immediate part of this game? Yes, no, probably not. I don't know, maybe.
I mean, it's like a Justin Roiland property, so I mean, it's a pretty safe bet, right?
Right.
But it's exactly as ridiculous as you want it to be. It feels like a good shooter, but I will say it did not quite feel as good playing attached to my phone as I thought it would. So I'll definitely try it on the Razer Kishi as far as mobile goes, and then probably get back to it on PC to get
Have
the full
you?
feel of it.
So, quick question, and sorry to stray here. This
No, we're
Xbox
talking about High on Life.
cloud streaming. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where the confusion was happening.
No.
Seems to be totally fine on phones and things like that. But going through the TV app that they just released on Samsung, it is trash. Like not playable. Like nothing is playable on it. So not sure how, unless you have the brand new TVs. Like they're like, oh, we're gonna release them on 2021 Samsung TVs, so you'll all get it now. It's like, oh, great. So get a couple of Bluetooth Xbox controllers, get all excited. Finally happens. Trash. Like a tracking line through everything, even though the TV is hardwired in.
Yeah.
Tracking line, it constantly glitching out. Like does not work.
And I can tell
It's
you
because
what
you don't
that
have like the tri mode, whatever.
Yeah, right.
Yes,
That's it.
very clearly. So what that is actually, it's not just the processor of the TVs being shit, which is the case like 99% of the time, but actually it's the particular kind of Wi-Fi that they use. Most likely, they don't have 5.1 available. What is it? The 5.1 gigahertz?
Yeah, because I'm a gigabyte.
Yeah.
Google Chrome person.
So it doesn't matter
Google
your
fiber.
your actual internet speed doesn't matter in that case. It's the actual gigahertz. I don't remember the exact science of it, but it's the gigahertz that it actually sends everything through.
I know the
5.1 gigahertz is like the preferred for the cloud.
when
That's
we
insane.
played something in our house in Kansas City, it was you can have two different bandwidths of wireless internet. You can have like two gigahertz or 5 gigahertz or something.
Yep.
And I remember if I chose the wrong one on my computer, it would have an adverse effect on my controller, on my any Bluetooth connectivity that I was trying to have with my PC. And I had to explain that to several people, like what my problem was, before somebody told me that's what was going on. Because when I poked around on the internet, I could not understand that those were connected.
So if I
don't know
switch
how
to
that
the
stuff works.
2 gigahertz one, I might have a chance.
Well,
It
I don't
might
know if
work.
you can. I don't know if you can switch on your TV. That's the thing.
Oh, right. And I'm hardwired, so
Because when I witnessed difficulties, it was when I played Plague Tale. Actually, the original Plague Tale. I had a Samsung something tablet that was like really high end. It was like a $400 tablet, and it couldn't do the cloud stuff like I wanted it to. And it
that's
was
so
because
weird.
of that. And it actually had a switchable gigahertz mode that I could change, but the tablet just wasn't quite ready for it.
Rip.
Damn, that sucks. Well, now I
Well,
know.
hey, for the sake of time, so that's High on Life. Because we could keep
And
talking about this
Xbox
stuff
Cloud
later.
streaming.
And Xbox Cloud. Hey, I got no problem with getting off topic, but we do have limited time, like
Yes.
per person. So
Yes.
let's look at what you're looking forward to in 2023, Vilos. I got 2 here. Which one do you want to tackle first?
Oh, we're gonna get straight into that.
We're
Okay.
gonna get straight into it.
Yeah, Fire Emblem Engage, because that is 2 weeks away.
Crazy.
That's not far away at all.
Yeah. And of course, you guys know how much I love me a Fire Emblem game, and so I really
Or
don't
any
have a whole lot
waifu
to
game in
say.
general.
Yeah.
Listen, Sav. Yes, I do like my waifus. And this game is gonna present a lot of those choices. So far, it's got a good deal of the relationship vibes, the support. Okay, let these fucking sirens go by real quick.
That's
It's just the waifu alarm.
Yep.
I really should have one. But there are a ton of options in this game. A lot of people are saying that it feels closer to like the Awakening era, just because of the certain characters that you actually get to have as helpers, so to speak. I don't remember the exact term here because they everybody's an emblem and everybody's a this and of that. But you have rings that basically summon heroes from the past, and
Wait,
there's a
is
ton of
this
them.
Xenoblade 3?
Listen, no, but as you can see, there are a lot of really great original characters that are from this particular time, but then you actually get to use a ton from the entire history of Fire Emblem, literally from the first game, second game, third game.
Is
Uh,
is Fire
yeah.
Emblem 3 Houses the one that pulled from a previous Fire Emblem game, or is that something that's really common
No,
across the franchise?
no. Three Houses didn't. Three Houses was its own thing, but the Fire Emblem Warriors games, as well as Fire Emblem Heroes, the mobile game, literally has every single character known to the series. And that's kind of where they took Emblem. Is they wanted to. They've been really putting a whole lot into fan service.
What? People hate that though.
Yeah, totally. And again, you will not see what people would normally call fan service in the Fire Emblem games. All right, except for heroes.
Ah,
But in the case of
keep it
these
respectful.
heroes, they do have very particular powers. Like they're OP. Like the whole point is that you summon these older characters, these classic characters, to aid you in battle. Gives you a million different strategic advantages. It looks like this game actually is doing more of the actual strategy gameplay than Three Houses did, because a lot of people really love Three Houses because of the persona-ish relationship stuff. But this one is like bringing it all together. It looks like this game might actually be a longer experience than Three Houses was,
Really?
um, which is stupid exciting. I think I put 90 hours into Three Houses, and I didn't even complete all the potential lines.
You
But
can
yeah,
only
it's
complete the potential
exciting.
lines. Are you talking about like playing as all of the 3 houses?
There's technically 4 routes that you can do in. Well, there's 4 routes technically that you can do in Three Houses, and then there was also the expansion DLC. So there was a lot of game there.
You got support in chat for this game. You're not the only one excited.
Yeah, Chrome says it's gonna slap. It's gonna slap, and I've got the Divine Edition coming. Got a whole lot of extra bullshit uh, with it, and yeah,
Extra
it's gonna be
bullshit.
fun.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah, it's got the steelbook and some art cards and stuff. And then since I got it at GameStop, they've got a pre-order like tarot cards that actually look pretty cool. The art is really
That's cool.
intriguing. So yeah, it's just a great series, and Nintendo's put a lot of money and effort into this one. Very obviously, they're trying a little bit of something new for the series, but I do think it's gonna pay off pretty well.
I
I
love that
can't
this
wait,
trailer has an everything else section because these
dude.
games have so much stuff in them that they're like, well, I mean,
It's a lot.
I know we like mercilessly poke fun of you for your love for JRPGs and stuff.
Farming
I
sim.
know that you know it's
Yeah.
all endearing, otherwise we wouldn't do it. But the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 trailer that we played a while back on the show,
Look at the dog. Oh my god, you can pet the dog.
it was
too.
like a 16-minute trailer, but it's not like it was full of nothing, you know? Like the whole 16 minutes or what, it was something like that, was like full of all of these different things as aspects of the game. And I would like, without looking at the runtime, I was like, okay, well, I think this is the end coming up. We were talking about before the show. I don't always know how long the videos are off the top of my head, so sometimes you'll see me like mousing over like this, to be like, where are we? So we're 2/3 of the way through this video. With the Xenoblade 3 one, it was so long that I was just like, well, surely they've shown us everything, and I mouse over it, and not even
I
halfway
mean,
done.
seriously, you just saw you can work out to get stat buffs. You can fish, which is always a thing, but it looks like you might be able to fish more so than ever. You've got animals you can pet and animals you can kind of raise to also affect your stats in battle. So yeah,
I've been surprised. This is
You
what
could
I
play the
always thought
Kingdom Hearts gummy
Pokemon.
ship battle in this.
yeah. There's literally anything you can think of that needs to go in a JRPG. It's
There it
in
is.
this game. Like,
Dude, this game
just get
looks
it.
like what I always thought Pokemon was going to turn into once it went 3D, like to a certain level. Because all the like mini game stuff, or you're describing this like slice of life, fishing, working out, and stuff. Like, um, I can, I can really see the appeal of this game. Like, definitely a comfy, cozy battle game.
Like all the people that bought Harvestella because they were fooled by Square Enix, like they're gonna throw it away and go to Fire Emblem because that's just what Fire Emblem brings. It brings literally all the game you could really ever want. Like
Hell yeah.
it's awesome.
That's how I know this is a fantasy game. Fantasy game. You get sleep. You actually rest.
Eternal sleep, actually.
Oh no.
Well, let's see. You've got one more, Vilas. Let me pull it here in a second. But I don't have the screen in front of me. You'll have to tell me what it is.
Oh yeah, this my next one is Metal Slug Tactics, which we really don't know anything about, which sucks. But the
Nothing.
the thing is it's supposed to be 2023.
Mm.
And I am actually hoping on this one, but Metal Slug, everybody knows it as the fucking awesome arcade co-op shooter that if you actually did it in an arcade, RIP because you were broke
Yes.
and you were like
I played
a
that in the
gambler
bowling
and
alley every week for
dude.
for many summers of my childhood.
Like just buy the games on PC, beat them in like an hour and a half, and be like, "Holy shit, that was great." When's the next one? Because there's like 8 games. I don't like. There's so many Metal Slug games now, but they've always been amazing pixel art action titles, and now it's in tactics form. I mean, come the fuck on!
Man,
Like this is gonna be sweet.
that's pretty cool.
And I already play way too many tactics games, but the art style, the attitude that this whole series has, it's always been such a funny series. The action is so badass. It's gonna be super fun.
Man, this looks great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it looks so good.
Oh, that's
Is this
exciting.
maybe the same people who redid Advance Wars? It kind of reminds me of that.
I feel like this is what is it? Emu or Dotemu?
Emu. Okay, so the same
Yeah,
people behind
yeah,
Streets of Rage 4 and
yeah.
shoot,
So it's
Shredder's Revenge.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure it's them. 99% sure it's them. Somebody could fact check that, but yeah, it's gonna be quality, like no matter what. And they actually do take care of the license. Like Metal Slug doesn't have a bad game in its repertoire. Like it just doesn't. So I'm super hyped, even though I do have like 200 plus hours of other tactics games on the way.
Hey, if we
I mean,
only
look at
picked
that. You
one
could
game in each
even
genre, we'd never play anything.
That's true. Like you even saw just a second ago, there's a destructible environment which you don't see in tactics games most of the time. So that's intriguing. I just can't wait to hear more about it.
Yeah.
Because we've just been waiting for solid like a year.
Yeah, it says
Let's see
Dotemu
now.
down there at the bottom. I guess if there's anyone who's gonna revamp like a beloved game series like that and do a good job of it, it's gonna be them because they did a really good job with Streets of Rage.
Yeah.
They did an amazing job with Shredder's Revenge,
Mhm.
and now they're gonna keep up the Metal Slug legacy, which is better than Contra, and I will die on that hill.
That's pretty
No,
rad.
it's 100%.
I would agree with that. Well, excellent. Well, so let's see. The three that Violet's talked about here were High on Life, Fire Emblem Engage, and Metal Slug Tactics.
Yes.
Right.
So those are all pretty rad. Those are all great. Saab, what if we bounce over to you?
Listen.
The past few weeks, you've been playing a whole bunch of Divine Knockout. So.
Yeah, well, I actually have something new for you today.
Oh, really?
It is called Outknock Divine.
Fooled again.
Gotcha.
This is the one from High Res, right?
That's correct. Yes. It is published by Hi-Rez, but it's like from their subsidiary Redbeard Games, which is based out of the UK.
Now I see why you like it.
You know what? I ask the question every day that I'm in the Discord, why y'all call Redbeard Games, and I still have not gotten an answer because I went on their website and ain't none of the employees gingers. Not a one.
Oh man.
Oh, actually, I finally got an answer. I think I actually remember talking about this on stream once.
Oh yeah.
Asking that question. I finally got an answer, and it's because this is literally what I was told. They just wanted to sound like pirates.
Wow.
Okay.
That's it. They wanted to have like a piratey sound, and I was like, you know what, respect. Because
Respect.
Pirates of the Caribbean 1 through 3, which are the only ones that exist, are like among my favorite movies, so I get it. But yeah, so I've been playing a lot of DKO. I was actually playing it earlier today. They do little dev takeover streams every day. They just started it back up yesterday after the holidays and everything. And so there's another video on my YouTube right now of me playing with the devs again because I just happen to like weasel my way in there all the time, and it's fun. They just released Zeus, who is a lot of fun to play.
Nice. You've
Very
been
much
hyping
as
that up.
chaotic as yes. I'm so excited he's finally here because he's like Zaddy. So
Like literally, Zaddy.
we went from Santa to Zeus, the
Uh,
father of all gods.
Overwatch has Junker Queen, and through the Battle Pass you can get her Zeus skin now. Man, pretty dope. I'm looking forward to unlocking that because pretty cool.
Are you looking forward to it?
That's right.
She be looking at
I ain't hiding it, man. Junker Queen. I like Junker Queen.
like I thought I had abs before Junker Queen came out.
Man, well, it's funny. So Junker Queen looks like a game. Actually, you're going to talk about it in a minute, so I'll talk about it when we move on to your 2023 ones.
Mommy vibes in chat.
Yeah,
Sweet.
there's a character in one of your games that is just like Junker Queen, like the
Nice.
same modeled after the same what's it called, like archetype? Is that right?
Oh yeah. Jeez, now I wonder who it is.
Well,
We'll get there. Yeah. But they just finished up their free mode or whatever on PlayStation. They were part of the PS Plus PlayStation thing, so you can no longer get the game and the Founders Pack for free anymore. But now they have just started out an Xbox rally. So if you watch a stream, any DKO stream for 30 minutes, like I said before, you can get a drop for PC. Well, now they've added Xbox codes into the mix. So if you have Xbox, for whatever reason, then you can get a code for free. It's just the base game though, so like none of the perks and goodies and stuff that you get from getting a Founders Pack like I always do. So yeah.
Well, excellent. Well, if anybody wants to hear more about Divine Knockout, go check out our past few podcasts.
Literally a month straight, y'all. That's all
It's true. But you wouldn't be playing it. I mean, Violet, what you're saying, I've played plenty of tactics games and all stuff. Well, if like I said, if we only played one game out of each genre, we'd never play anything. We know what we like.
If it's a platform brawler, Sob's playing it
That's right.
Yep.
I don't know what you're talking about.
and getting ranked on it like stupid high.
Meeting the devs and somehow being incorporated into the lore of the game. Probably.
I hope.
I mean, that's what
this
happened with
is-
Coromon. Which actually today's my anniversary of being an NPC in that game where they like revealed me or whatever. So yay, happy anniversary to me.
That's dope.
Play Coromon, also free on all platforms.
So people should check out Cormon and DKO. But you're looking forward to 2 games. The one that I talked about with the Junker Queen thing is Wayfinder.
Oh yes, Wayfinder. So of the 3 characters that you can play of in the beta, I'm not sure which one you're talking about.
Oh, she'll be on screen. I'll show you.
Oh yeah, I'm
Of course,
excited.
we don't see the video at the same time, but I'll
I'll figure
I'll
it out.
point her out.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a big woman with strong muscles, and I definitely, people have all sorts of opinions on like bikini armor and stuff, but when you got that many muscles, I feel like your muscles are just your armor. That's not how it works, but it makes it look like it.
Yeah, they're their own armor class.
That's right. It's like a monk wearing only like robes and stuff.
So this game, it's called Wayfinder, and it is a like dungeon crawly sort of game. I guess I can describe it like. It's very kind of Guild Wars 2, except for without like the big overarching like overworld sprawling adventure exploration.
It reminds me of Torchlight more than.
Yeah,
there
that's what
she
I
is,
said the first time I. Oh, you're talking about
Oh,
yeah, her. I haven't
Puncher
met her
Queen
yet.
is her name.
I have not met her yet, but she does fit that archetype very well.
Yes, she does. Look at those ends. Yeah.
Very dommy mommy.
She's strong.
But it's a lot of fun. The music's actually really like atmospheric, so it's like very immersive. I get in the mood when I actually log into the game and play. And against all like odds, instead of choosing like the very stealthy, sexy dark elf character that does all the purple everything, I've chosen to play the paladin.
Oh.
Yeah, he is a healing paladin. His name is gosh, what is his name? It's like Windstrom or something like that. I can't remember.
It checks out. That sounds like a paladin name.
But he's very Reinhardt. In more ways than one, but also not entirely. For one, he attacks with like a giant sword, a great sword, and a shield. He wields a great sword, by the way, with one hand, and then shields with the other. That's
He's
already just
strong.
impressive. And he's a healer. So he's very heavy damage, like melee damage, but then he also heals with all the attacks that he does. So there he is in the middle there.
Yeah, that's
when Daddy Paladin. So
As you do.
As you do.
he's a lot of fun. He's got a bunch of abilities that like shield, and they're like AoE healings and things like that. If you finish off enemies with melee attacks, then that's another burst of healing. So he's really
cool.
the person you want to turn to when you're trying to keep your party up and running. I also looked at the Grenadier. I can't remember like his name either, because names escape me right now in this early stage of gameplay. But you can combine all of his different oil bombs. So there's like a fire bomb, an oil bomb, and there's like another bomb. I think it's like electricity, and he's got like this really cool
We've all got an electricity bomb,
clone feature that can like taunt people. So you send out your clone, and then you could throw out your oil bomb, and then while they're attacking your clone and getting all slowed and stuff by the oil, you just explode them up with fire. It's a really cool combination. And he's got like a shotgun as well. So he's very, very artillery. And then you have I think her name is Nis, the shadowy assassin character, and I mean she's Shadow Assassin the character. There's not really much else to say about that.
Right.
If you've seen them all, you've seen them all. So like that's it. That's all I can say about her. She's very slicey, dicey. In fact, actually, I think one of her weapons names is Slice and Dice. So or no, it's Slicer and Dicer. So I mean,
that's better.
extra syllables, more complications.
You've got Slicer and Dicer and Smasher and Crasher. You've got everybody with me now.
Oh my gosh.
We just made it through the holidays, damn it.
Well, it's still gourd season. No, Yule season. Yule log season, right?
I think today's the last day of Yule log season. I think.
Okay, there we go.
Let me bring
We're
up the
safe.
calendar. We did the 12 days of Yule log. 7, 8, 9. Yep, I think today's the last day of the Yule log, based
Hey,
on your 12-day definition of what a Yule log is.
sweet.
Glad I got that out of my system. It was a close one.
Yeah, you can still sign up for the Wayfinder beta. It's playwayfinder.com, I believe.
Mhm.
And then they will have, beta testing periods every so often. So check it out.
Heck
Especially
yeah.
if you like things like Diablo, Torchlight, Gauntlet, things like that.
Yeah, this to me looks like a more interesting version of Dauntless. Dauntless just wasn't for me personally. I think it was more like Monster Hunter than I wanted it to be. And this is less like Monster Hunter. So good for me, I guess.
I think you might actually, speaking of Dauntless and games like that, I think you might like Frozen Flame, which is like a combination of Valheim and Monster Hunter. It's
Okay.
more Valheim than Monster Hunter, so it's like more survivally, buildy, explore the worldy.
I like
But then there's
that.
also giant monsters everywhere. So I think you might like it. It's coming out later this year as well. So speaking of, it's not retrospect. What's it called when you're looking forward? For forward spec.
I don't
It's in
know.
this optionary. Look it up.
Chat.
It's
Yeah.
real.
Chat, help us out here. Well, that is Wayfinder, like you said. Visit playwayfinder.com to find more information on that, all the platforms it's on, and all that stuff. You said it was on PlayStation for sure. It's definitely on PC. Um, but wonderful. Yeah, the other game you mentioned, you'll have to remind me later because I'm not going to be able to keep it in my head during the show.
Okay, I'll post it in chat later in our Discord.
Cool. And then the next game you were looking at is EverCore Heroes.
Da, 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 da. So, longtime listeners, like very, very early on listeners, will know how much I hate when names of games start with ever. I hate it.
Mm.
It's like one of my least favorite tropes.
Yeah.
Ever, there's like ever everything. Like we get it. If it's mystical, it's ever. Okay, we got it.
Clash
Like
of Ever. Ever of
Clash of-
Clans.
ever of legend.
Yes, yes.
But this game, speaking of, League of Legends, it is a MOBA, but not your typical MOBA. It is a PvE MOBA. So how that works is that there are 4 different teams of 4, all in their little own arena, which you'll never garner by this trailer, by the way. You would never ever get this from the
Oh,
trailer. Just
right.
very cinematic.
Yep. I mean, it's like the League of
Um,
Legends cinematic. You're like, this looks cool, but what the heck is the game?
Right, exactly. It's exactly like that because when I first saw this trailer, I was like, look at all these characters, look at these environments. This is going to be a really cool, like, I don't know, RPG or something. I get to the website to apply for the beta or the alpha, the pre-alpha now, and it's just like, oh, by the way, this is a MOBA. And I'm like, oh, I didn't see it coming. But it's
Right.
interesting because you know how I like games that subvert genres, like by, doing something interesting or new. So like we have Rumbleverse that I've played, which is a battle royale, but only like melee wrestling based.
Yeah.
There's Naraka Blade Point, which is, another battle royale, but it's melee weaponry based. So it's like Soul Calibur,
I played
but
Spellbreak, a
battle
battle
royale.
royale that had spells instead
Magic.
of
Yeah.
guns.
I guess, I mean, when battle royales have been out so long, they're about to subvert somehow. But this one turns the genre on its head by doing PvE element. So all of the different teams, sorry, I saw the Ginger Paladin.
Oh my goodness.
His name is actually Win, or no, it's Fen. It's Fen. Fen, Fen. I remember. More on him later.
Glad we got that cleared out.
Yes, I just wanna clear that up.
And this is my homie Finn.
This is Finn.
We go way back.
We go way back because I throw it back. So anyway, the teams compete together to kind of build resources and level up and garner their skills and polish their abilities. Build out their item loadouts and what have you. Typical MOBA fanfare, yada yada yada. But then where it gets interesting is while you're doing all that, it's kind of like Tetris Attack, where when you take out mobs of enemies, you can then send quote unquote garbage to the other teams to hinder them. So you could send hindrances to kind of mess with the other team's progress. And the ultimate goal is to make it to the final boss, being the strongest team or whatever. And the final boss is a conglomerate of all of the teams together facing off against the final boss. And then you just, fight for a victory that way.
This
So-
sounds rad.
It's a lovely concept. So far, I'm moderately impressed. It's still pre-alpha, so there's still a lot of kinks to be worked out and things to smooth and everything.
Sure.
Lots of stuff to like streamline and get right. But the characters, I mean, I'm in love with the characters. You see from the cinematic how varied they are. Of course, we got purple elf assassin chick. So like I said, You see one, you seen them all. But then we have a character named Lotus, who is a battle medic. So she's physical and magical as far as her like damage properties go, but then she's very melee oriented. So she'll basically kind of like the paladin from the last game. You'll do damage to others, and that'll heal people within your short range of your combat. And then we have the Solar Archer, who is the lovely melanated goddess that we see at the end of the trailer. And she just is all about raining fury and justice from above, and that's it. That's her whole
As you do.
thing. Yeah. So
Every team's got one.
every team's got one.
No.
She's the Ash of this game.
That's right. Or the Pharah, but with a bow and arrow. Bow and arrow.
Bow and arrow.
Bow and
Yes.
Oh, rip.
This cutscene, like this is way too perfect though. It's just like, man,
Dude, isn't it
Blizzard
cool?
do this shit.
Yeah, I love cinematics like this, man. Cinematics like this are what got me so into checking out. Well, I just love cinematics and trailers in general, but this is what got me into award shows or like sharing games, like experiencing games outside of holding a controller in your hand, because this is so relevant. Vilos, you shouted out the demo duo, the Dimmies, the award show yesterday, and they had mentioned that it's an illustration, like what we're doing even here right now is an illustration that gaming, like experiencing gaming, goes beyond just holding a controller in your hand. And so for me, like watching trailers together, yeah, you're definitely not playing together, but there's real enjoyment to be had to experience games just in a way like that. Yeah, we didn't see any gameplay, but it's still really fun to watch and to show off and stuff. And I can't get enough of this stuff. Even if like it's in pre-alpha, like you said, so who knows what the end result will be, how close it will be. Maybe it'll be the same game, just polished. Maybe it'll go through different changes and stuff. But easy to get hyped up with a trailer like that. Well, wonderful. Chris, let's bounce over your way.
Yes, sir.
You got Control on here. That was one of my favorite games of whichever year I played it.
Right.
Time's funny now, but really like that game.
Yeah, so I was feeling something sci-fi coming off of 1899. I was like, I just need to play something sci-fi. And I remember that Control Ultimate Edition, like the PS5 version and everything, is free on PlayStation Plus's Game Pass thing, Premium or Extra or whatever. I think it's both. And so I also have the PS5. I have the sweet 3D audio headphones and a brand new TV to play it on. So, man, this game, I played a bit. I got to the first time I played it on PS4, I got to Salvador, who's like the security captain. His fight got very annoying to where I was just furious.
Sure.
And I think it was probably because like just the combat arena was brutal. But I've noticed I'm like changing up my weapons more, and now I know like what to use more often. So I got my head wrapped around it a little bit better, at least combat wise. So none of the combat has felt bad so far. So, getting to Salvador, I'm really close to getting back to Salvador. So I'm finally gonna finish this game. Hopefully, that's the goal. Was to like, I never finished through that. I had gotten to the maze, but not completed it. Like I hadn't gotten to that point of the story where I would be able to complete the maze.
The maze itself is short. So did you?
The ashtray maze?
Yeah, it only lasts like 10 minutes maybe.
Right, but the first time you see it, it's like you're meant to just be able to go into it, and then it spits you back out again. You're like, I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to be looking for.
Right.
Or like how to solve this, and then it kind of later on in the story it gives it to you.
Yeah. I'm excited for you, man. There's a lot to enjoy in that game. I don't know. I can't remember if you're interested in like reading all the lore and stuff. If not, no big deal, because there's plenty of game to enjoy if you skip over all that. But I will tell you, as someone who consumes a lot of horror, I think the way that game feeds you lots of world building stuff through documents and all these things is very well done.
Oh yeah, it's incredible. And like I cannot believe like playing this on PlayStation 5, I cannot believe that this game was on PlayStation 4.
Oh
Like
my gosh,
I
dude, the controller?
can't fucking believe it.
How good is the controller, dude, with the adaptive
Oh yeah.
triggers and the rumble is so good.
Well, that I'm finding more that like the 3D audio wireless headphones are like I don't know how how I played this game without them. You know, like it just is like so immersive when you start hearing the janitors singing like down a hallway while you're wearing those headphones. It's like, oh man, this sound is so good. But yeah, it's fantastic. I loved what I played of it. I just hit a wall at some point where I was just like, ugh, this combat is killing me. I'm not enjoying the combat. But I think I have more stuff now than I did that first time because something about those objects of power and that give you like your abilities, you can like totally just keep going and not investigate those. And I think I did that a few times on like main missions and just like kept going to the main mission and they're like, it was like hard. I was like, oh, why is this so hard? Oh, it's because you didn't fucking go get the special abilities.
Yeah, you didn't
that you probably,
get the optional.
right.
Yeah, it gives you a few different ways. The game has this weird. I actually don't love the way that it's implemented. It's a cool idea, where it'll give you missions as you're playing that are like, hey, this is a real timed event. Like you actually have 15 minutes to go and do this, but it's totally optional. It usually doesn't have that big of a payoff, so it's really just if you're looking for something to do. Which the game already has plenty for you to do, so that's like my issue with it is like, why would I stop doing this really cool stuff to go do a mundane, low reward, side mission? I wish that
I'm
that was
definitely
cooler,
not doing this.
but it's a cool idea because it continues to build. It makes you feel like this world is lived in. Well, the complex that you're in, which is essentially, it's like a Harry Potter thing. It's bigger on the inside than it is on the outside.
Yes.
I think it does a really good job of making that feel like the place that it is. Rather than just saying like, "Oh, it's crazy and the walls move whenever it wants."
It's so good. I'm just excited to finally get through the story, which I basically didn't get through at all the last time. Like, I know I'm basically really close to where I left off last time, so not very far into the game, because I stopped before you could start flying around and stuff.
Oh,
so
yeah.
yes,
when I heard about the flying around, I thought that was going to be much earlier in the game than it turned out to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, certainly once you're able to fly around, it completely opens that game up. You truly feel like, I mean, at that point, it really does turn into a power fantasy in a good way.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, and it's really good. Like I said, the haptics feel great. The 3D audio is crazy. But yeah, I was just downloading. I'm downloading random stuff because I'm also, I'm playing Midnight Suns, but I'm very close to the end on that. Literally, Blade looked longingly away from the camera and said, "We're in the end game now." So I know that the end of the game is happening, and it's Act 3.
Like,
so
did he literally though?
Yes. And I still love Midnight Suns, but it's right now it's a go in, play a couple missions, and get out kind of thing. It's not a like sit here for hours and play. If that makes sense. I'm at that point now where I'm like, all right, let's do it.
This is
like
now a run-based game.
You don't want to go on a picnic with Miss Marvel?
No, I mean all that stuff's totally fine when you're doing it early on, but when you are like, all right, we're close to the end. Let's take 3 sentences to say the thing that we need to say and not 20. Like a lot of the dialogue right now, I'm like listening to the first couple sentences and then going, all right, skip. And then I get to the end and I listen to the last couple things they say and I'm like, all right, why was there so much other stuff in there? That was
you gave this such a high recommendation for so much content that is like
oh, it's
worth
great.
skipping.
I love 75% of the game.
Yes, the game is awesome. It just, even if you start wanting to go down the path of I enjoy this. This is like watching a 90s Saturday morning cartoon all the time, which is exactly what it is. Like they built a game off of a obscure 90s Ghost Rider comic book and we're like, what if that comic that's 4 issues was a game, and that's what they created. And so it like is very like 90s Saturday morning cartoons, cheesy, goofy, all of that stuff, and very, I don't know, it's nostalgic and warms my heart when I was playing it early on. But like at this point, I'm just like, guys, let's stop talking so much. Captain America, I know, I get it. You were frozen, you're back. You don't. I'm also from the
I
past.
can do
We
this all
get it.
day.
We don't have to keep rehashing. I got it.
there's
We're
a
the same.
there's a wonderful moment in the Good Place show, TV show, that it's a flashback in this character's life, and it's Kristen Bell's character. And she's like, "Oh man, my friends want me to go see, So this is back in like, I don't know, 1999 maybe. She's like, my friends want me to go with them to go see Spider-Man 2. I mean, what more could they say? We pretty much know all there is to say, which just had me laughing out loud. That of course there are 2 more trilogies coming in hot after that one.
Right. Exactly.
It's
But
funny
yeah,
when I explain the joke. But
yeah, sorry to go off onto this other game that I'm finishing up. But it's great. I think it's a fantastic game. They are going to have to do so much for me to come back for that DLC. Like there has to be story tied in with each one of these new characters that they're bringing in, or else there's no reason for me to go back to the game once it's over.
I just
Like
need
I
a
know
beach
there's like
episode.
endless
Just
modes
give me
and
a beach
stuff.
episode.
What's that?
I said, just give me a beach episode. That's all I need.
or a Christmas episode. I always like a good, seasonal.
Well, like the characters that they have coming sound awesome. It's like Deadpool and Morbius and uh, Storm and somebody else. It's like, oh, those will be cool to play with and like play with their cards and like figure out how to utilize them and stuff. If there's something for me to do, not to just go into like the endless mode and just the trials and try to get better. I'm already really good to where like when a big enemy shows up, it's like, yeah, well, you're gonna die. Like my cards are all leveled up insane. Like basically nothing is presenting a challenge right now. So in order for me to go back, you're gonna have to give me some story bits or something. Because I know they have this DLC coming. It's just who knows if it'll actually be good.
Hell yeah. Well, the game you're looking forward to, I'm gonna play the video
Yes.
for, and I actually need to run to the bathroom real quick. I cannot wait.
Go for it.
So, the game that you have on here is Atomic Heart. This one was teased, I think, 5 years ago. Was the very first trailer, so it's finally almost here. I'm hyped with you, Chris.
Comes out in February. I'm so excited and happy for it. Man, it's just all my favorite parts about like a game like Prey and BioShock. All of that type of sci-fi of there's a mysterious lab or there's something weird going on down here. You need to investigate what's going on in this weird wild world. Love that shit. That's my favorite, like one of my favorite types of games. This seems also like they're mixing a little bit of Doom in there. Does Thomas have it on fast forward?
Yeah, I'm like, this is going
yeah,
so
Oh
quickly.
my god, Thomas.
least 2 times.
This looks insane right now. I mean, it already is insane, but good god. Yeah, so very
Well, we're gonna definitely get a YouTube ad now. Like,
yes. Very BioShock-esque, very Prey-esque, that takes place in like this alternate history Russia, where the robots have become sentient and are now attacking us. Comes out in February. I'm so excited to play it. Hey Thomas, if you want to replay that and take it off of fast forward, that would be super duper. Oh.
Oops, I was muted. I don't think this is on fast forward.
Wait,
It
does this game
definitely is on
download it
fast
like that?
forward.
That's hilarious.
It might have downloaded like that.
why?
Anyway,
Oh, that's
don't
definitely
know.
fast forward. That's definitely fast forward.
It's definitely fast forward.
Well, give me a second, and I'll give us a normal version of that.
No, that was so funny.
But the game rules. From what I've seen, people are from previews are saying it's very cool. They say the map isn't gigantic, but like you're in a laboratory. Can then come out into it's an underground lab. Come outside of the facility into like various villages and things that are around the area. But there's a lot of missable stuff which sounds like, oh, there's like little dungeons hiding around, like hiding, that you can find and like go down into that part of the facility and like do a thing and then come back and like optional boss fights and stuff like that. Um, all of that sounds great. Like Thomas and I spoke very highly of Prey when we were playing it. This gives me that kind of, not quite as an immersive sim as Prey is, but very excited for it. It definitely feels like the combat is going to be insane. It seems almost Doom-like, in the pace of it. Definitely not as fast as we saw just a second ago, but it's going to be quick and relentless.
I'm gonna have to show a YouTube thing because actually the link that you gave me when I watched it on YouTube just now, at normal speed, that's what it looks like. That's what the actual YouTube video looks like.
What?
Yeah, I don't know, but let me switch it over. We'll get it.
That's hilarious.
We'll get something on screen here.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, Atomic Heart has been teased forever. Since the first time I saw it, I was like, whatever this is, looks amazing. It is coming to Game Pass. So you pick the most like erotic
hey, this is a cool trailer.
It is very cool.
Who's complaining?
It's cool, Mom.
It's cool. Yes, so the overwhelming mysteries of playing games like this, where you're just like, man, what is going on in this world? Some of those pay off really well, and sometimes they don't pay off very well. But I'm excited to figure out what in the hell is going on in this video game, because it looks great. They've shown off some like RTX like ray tracing 4K video of this, and it's insanity. It looks like it's not real.
Sometimes it looks like it's running in 2x speed. It's crazy.
Yes, sometimes looks like it's running in 2x speed. I'm hoping that because it is on Game Pass, that my computer will be fine with it. We'll see. The first game,
Game Pass is pretty well optimized for low end stuff. I mean, I don't know if that's like a thing that Game Pass does specifically, where they have like a.
I mean, I do feel like this is gonna push it. There was something about NVIDIA's actually doing their own. I think maybe it's a GeForce Now thing.
No.
So it might actually be like fucking up a lot of computers.
Oh,
when
great!
It comes
It'll
out.
be like Halo Infinite, where unless you're constantly updating your drivers, the game just melts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you could just buy one of those like 4090 giant, refrigerator graphics cards, and you'll be fine.
Of course.
$1,000. Oh my god.
But the first game to ever tell me like, hey, your computer is not up to snuff was Darktide. So, we'll see. But I'm excited for it nonetheless. Like, it's funny. I keep getting ads for it. It's almost like it knows that I've posted about this game several times. Mm-hmm. Keeps giving me ads for it. It's like, it's on Game Pass. Stop giving me ads to pre-order a game that's on Game Pass.
I basically own it already.
Yes. Like, it's already pre-installed.
It's just the government,
That's funny.
I'd rather that than my extended car warranty.
But man, that game looks great. So excited that it's finally coming. And God, I hope it's good, because we've waited a long time.
Yeah.
I'm amazed at the enemy types that you see just in the one trailer. Like, what?
Yes. Oh, yeah, that trailer keeps going, and there's another trailer with more enemy types in it. There's a lot of stuff in there.
And it's interesting that like each one, they're all like robots and stuff. So you're like, one of them is like this tiny little ball that's armored, and like a giant saw blade comes out of the top of him. So you have to like break his armor on the side of him to like expose the blade to like.
Wow, spoiler.
Get it? Yeah, just looks like the combat and stuff is very well thought out. I'm very excited for it.
Heck yeah! So that's
hoping it's good.
Atomic Heart. You also played Control. Let's see. Did I read off yours, Sav? I don't know if I did. The ones that you talked about were Divine Knockout, Wayfinder, and EverCore Heroes. So there, now I can say that I said it.
Yes.
You're welcome. No, sorry for not mentioning those after you had said them. And then the last ones I've got 3 games on my list. The game that I played was Frostpunk. So we'll play the cinematic trailer here. It's
I like the gameplay.
It's cool. But I'll be playing this again, and I'll have an edited thing of my own that I'll play next week. But Frostpunk is cool. It's the first city building sim that I've played in easily a decade. Well, actually, it's really the first proper city builder that I've ever played. But it's the first RTS that I've played in a long, long time. And I don't even know if RTS is the right word. If you can pause it, But this is a game where it's the end of the world. Now the whole world is frosted over. Life is terrible for everybody. It takes place in like an alternate steampunky world, which is why it's called Frostpunk. So everything is like you're mining coal so that you can keep all your steam engines going. And in the middle of your city, you've got one giant steam generator. And the way that you build your city is in a circle. It's radial. You build outwards as one of the main objectives is to keep the heat on. Because while you're harvesting resources that are available in the giant like crater that you play in, or if you're building things that can just mine things almost out of thin air, kind of, you are just trying to get enough resources to send people out on hunting parties so that there's enough food to feed your people. Of course, you're trying to mine lumber and steel, but you're also, of course, looking for coal because as time goes by, your characters are it's going to get colder and colder, and unless you're upgrading your steam generators and all of this stuff, it's going to get too cold, and your people are going to start getting sick. And boy, I had a lot of people go gravely ill and then eventually die pretty early on in the game. I've recovered from it. I'm doing okay now. I wouldn't say I'm doing well, but I'm playing this like tutorial campaign, kind of, that isn't really holding my hand. I would say it's doing a good job of teaching me, but it's not pulling any punches. At least I don't think it is. Maybe if I play the procedural version later, I'll realize that it was holding punches, and the game's just really hard. But the game's really fun, in of course like a slow burn way. And thanks again to Odysseus for gifting that to me over Christmas. I probably wouldn't have picked this up myself, but I'm really glad to be playing it. I've watched Odysseus play this in Discord maybe a year ago on a semi-regular basis. But I really enjoy it. And so something funny I would say about this game, because I will have more to say next week, so I don't need to completely explain everything now. Essentially, keep people warm and keep them happy, because when things start to go really bad, you have two bars of hope and discontent. And when they go too far in the bad directions, bad things happen. And I feel like I came pretty close to failing the game. I'm not quite sure about that, but felt like it.
Sounds like you did, and sounds like that'll probably happen a lot more. It's very hard, so the game is hard.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal. And people are just like dying all the time because it's, when you start the game, it's as warm as it will be, and it's negative 20 negative 20 Celsius, I think. It's either negative 20 or negative 40, but it just keeps getting colder. So yeah, it's really intense. But really enjoy this game. So the funny thing I would say about it, I played this for the first time on Sunday, so New Year's Day. I didn't know what to play, and it was right there in my library. So I was like, you know what? Perfect time to boot it up. This game put me to sleep in a way that I really need right now, because there are lots of times, and I say that endearingly, there are lots of times when I am getting close to bedtime and I want to play something, but most of the things I want to play just get me really wired, or I want to play one more. In Noida, I always want to play one more. In Overwatch, I always want to play one more. And so by the time I turn it off and try to hop in bed, all I can think about is the game I was just playing. And so while that's still true with Frostpunk, because you can pause it and play at your own speed, and because you have like the ambient sounds of snow and your steam engines and people going to and from their workday, it's just this wonderful, calming, though brutal, atmosphere that it builds. And so really enjoying this. I'm looking forward to spending a bunch more time into it, because I don't know how much of the game I have or haven't seen yet. But I'm excited to keep playing. I'm certainly excited to finish the tutorial campaign and then see where we go from there. But yeah, it's really nice to add something like this to my rotation because, like I said, I haven't had a game that kind of relaxes me before bed in a while. Most of the games I play are just like breakneck speed and competition and stuff. So I really like that. So yeah, like Violet said in chat, oh, this game came out 4 years ago. Perfect time to play. Yep, that's me. Still haven't played God of War yet. Give me another month at least until I touch that. And that's as quickly as I'll touch a brand new release. Get on my level. All right. So that's what I've been playing. Of course, we've been playing some other stuff, but you know how it is. If I talked about everything, then I'd be the only one talking here. The things I'm looking forward to this year, I've got 2 on my list. The first one is going to be Starfield. I really appreciated that in the Xbox conference thingy that we had a handful of months ago, that everything they showed from that was from the upcoming 12 months. Nothing they showed will be released past that 12-month window, which I love, love, love. It means I can start actually being excited about it. I don't have to worry about some release date. Even if it gets pushed back, I still...
Well, I was gonna say this is still the one that like has the best chance of getting pushed back.
That's true, but
They just said this week it will not be pushed back.
Yes, I am optimistic. I really think they were
Heard that
smart about
before.
the marketing because they don't want a No Man's Sky. They don't want a Cyberpunk 2077 because those are trash fires. Even though both of those games are in good playable states and No Man's Sky keeps getting awards for ongoing games, people who are playing those love them. But that's not what you want as a release because some people are like Netflix. If it's not an immediate success, then they abandon ship, as we talked about earlier in the show.
Well, also, they especially don't want to do that because think about how Fallout 76 went.
Yeah.
Like, they
same thing.
can't have that happen
a
again.
game that is good to play now, by all accounts, but went
Yes.
through such a dumpster fire of a release that, yeah, I can't imagine Bethesda would want to take any risk on this
They
thing
can't.
not being ready on day one. So Starfield, what do you do in it? I don't know, cool Fallout and space stuff. What else do you need to hear? You can build and customize your own spaceship. It is not a procedurally generated world, and none of the other Bethesda games are, to my knowledge. But it is a vast world with all of these planets to explore and all of these things. But everything is handcrafted, which is important because, again, unlike a No Man's Sky, which was procedurally generated, by being handcrafted, you can expect more interesting NPCs, quests, enemy dens and hideouts and bases and cities and all these things. So while I could look up more details to give you guys, I'm just excited for a Bethesda game, a new IP, importantly, that takes place in a new environment. I love space stuff. I have never in my life gotten tired of space stuff. Sometimes I get tired of certain things, like, the Skywalker stuff in Star Wars, but generally speaking, space is really cool to me. I hope this is good as I want it to be. But that's Starfield. If you haven't heard about it yet, it's been out. It's been teased for ages. So go look it up. There's a wonderful 15-ish minute gameplay reveal from the conference I mentioned last year, which was our first real. Well, it was our first look at gameplay, and it was our first real dive into any of the systems in the game. So highly recommend looking that up if you like any Bethesda game at all. I don't know that I would be breaking any news here if I did go in further depth. So really excited for that. Definitely going to play that on stream. Looking forward to customizing my spaceship a lot because those options seemed surprisingly robust. And
Honestly,
then
if I don't see a horse like cartwheeling through the air, though, it's not a real Bethesda game, and I'm going to be really upset.
I hope you have to whistle for your spaceship. That would just be wonderful. Yeah, so I'm almost as excited for the things I don't know as the things I do know. I loved Skyrim. Elder Scrolls Oblivion, Elder Scrolls 4 was one of my first favorite games where I looked at and I was just like, wow, so this is what it's like to truly love a game. I mean, I loved the Zelda games before, but it was on a whole different level of open world and all this stuff. So super looking forward to that. So the next game that I'm looking forward to is The Wolf Among Us. The Wolf Among Us 2. So the first game came out, I don't know, like 7 years ago, maybe?
Yeah.
came out a long time ago.
Long time.
Before I knew who Telltale was. So that came out a long time ago, but I beat that about a year and a half ago. I beat the first game a year and a half ago. Really liked it. While I've bounced off some other IPs across different mediums that are this kind of thing where it's like, fables are real, like those things from the stories, they're in real life. Sometimes I bounce off of those because they're either too soap opera-y or they're too soft around the edges, maybe. But this, The Wolf Among Us has this wonderful grit to it, this noir element to it that I really like, and it's equal parts like interesting and grimy, but also like funny. Like I don't know, it's not like a ha laugh out loud game, but it's got plenty of moments that'll make you smirk. And I really like the writing in it. Of course, being a Telltale game, it is a choose your own adventure. So I'm interested to see how the choices from my game will transfer over. I don't think I'll be going back to replay the first game, regardless if my save file's around. Actually, I should probably look that up. It's on my PS4 somewhere. But I'm interested how those are going to turn out, and how this will be for people who can just pick it up. Because I'm sure that you can just pick this game up without playing the first one. I guarantee it. But yeah, wonderful cel-shaded art style, great voice acting, lots of twists and turns in the first game. So the second one's a treat. I think there are 2 different trailers for this one. We're watching the most recent one.
Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, with the
Tin Man,
Scarecrow and the Tin
Scarecrow.
Man. And I think that was supposed to be Dorothy on the
Yes.
couch. I'm sure, no doubt we're going to see the Cowardly Lion, of course. But yeah, real excited for that. That's a game, I mean, you have so much time between releases, right? I mean, 7-ish years between 1 and 2. So excited for that. Excited too that we have like a general release date. I'd actually have to look to see what that one was, but
Oh, by the way, it was. I thought it was 2013, October 2013.
10 years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
Shoot. Crazy. That's a long time. Long time. And to survive the death of Telltale. that studio got closed, So exciting. Really looking forward to that. If you like choose your own adventure games, do not sleep on Wolf Among Us. It was funny that for no clear reason, everyone on Twitch briefly, just shortly after I had played the game, seemed like everyone was playing that game, even though it didn't get a new update or a new re-release or anything. Really worth playing. Liked it a lot. Especially, it's one of those games good to play with somebody on the couch next to you. It's like a game that's really fun to watch because it's pretty, but because that person on the couch next to you can also like yell at you what inputs you should do, right? Like, don't let her go, or like interrogate him and all that, or fight him instead of using diplomacy. So
Sounds like a black person watching a scary movie.
don't go in there.
Don't go in there.
I love that stuff. I think I'm gonna go and start. I'll restart The Walking Dead season 1. That's the only season I've played, though there's a lot more content after that. I'll probably, if I can ever dive through my backlog, play through Wolf Among Us 2 and then restart that one and play it on stream. Those games are real good, and you don't have to like the with The Walking Dead, you don't have to like the TV show. You don't have to care about it at all to like the game. Likewise, you don't have to care about Fables. Yeah. You don't have to care about Fables to care about The Wolf Among Us. It's a dope story, no matter what way you slice it. So, that's a whole lot of games. That is 1 game apiece that we've each been playing, roughly, and a good handful. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different games we're looking forward to this year. And that is from a long list of things that are coming out throughout the year. We saw a bunch of things at the Game Awards that are releasing in February March and April, and just a bunch of stuff. A ton of stuff coming out this year doesn't have a hard release date. Echo. How's it going over there, Chris? I'm getting excited, as you can tell. Lots of stuff to look forward to. And that's not even to mention stuff without release dates. I know Sav and I are both looking forward to Earthblade whenever that comes out. Probably not this year since it doesn't have a release date. And
March of next year or whatever. What was it? March 17th? Wasn't that like the magical day?
that was the magical day, but not for that one specifically. I went back and checked. It doesn't show any release information at all. Only who made the game and that trailer,
Yeah,
what it looks like.
They mentioned that they were starting it like a full 3 or 4 years ago. So.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah.
Man, well, lots of stuff to look forward to, and as the year goes by, we'll just have even more to revisit here as we start to get hard release dates and all that good stuff. So, wonderful. Well, that's a podcast, y'all.
Hey.
Thanks for joining us for our first 2023 podcast of the year. We're really excited to have such a wonderful community behind us. Everybody here in chat, everybody watching the VODs here on Twitch or on YouTube, everybody in our Discord server, which we love very much, our Facebook group, Vilos holding down, batting down the hatches on Twitter over there. We love you guys, and it really goes to show, like I said, gaming is a lot more than just playing, just putting a controller in your hands and playing. And I love being able to share that with the three of you and with everyone else. This is a wonderful way to experience the games you'd never have time or money or even interest in. A wonderful way to experience those. So let's see. We'll wrap up the show here. For anybody at home, go check out all our socials on partyinvite.games. That is a real website. I didn't just make that up. That's got any of the information that you want about our socials. You've got Vilos' backlog is on there, and we'll have some more stuff soon. I'd love to start contributing to that. We just put up some shorts on YouTube to experiment with that, so we'll have some more of that stuff here in the future. We're fooling around with editing, with video creation here. It's really Sav and Vilos who have all the know-how, so it's Chris and I trying to figure out what the hell we're doing. I'm speaking for you, Chris, but I think you feel the same way that I do. I'm comfortable streaming, but video editing is a whole different ballgame. So
fake it till you make it, baby.
That's right. So we're gonna fake it all the way through this year. So yeah, let's transition over to Pentiment here. For anybody listening in the future, go check out Pentiment season session 3. We're about to start. You'll be able to find eventually all of those VODs on YouTube. But for anybody else, thank you for joining us here on the podcast, and we'll see you same time next week. Peace.
Bye.
And Mark.